in
Yeah,
East
yeah.
Nashville. Yeah, yeah. I like the background, by the way. You've gone all
Thanks.
out because I know it's from your YouTube channel, Dr.
Oh,
Magnifiscent.
thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for the shout out. Yeah, Dr. Magnificent. Hey, I think I have my pipe
Oh,
around here. Oh, there we go. There we go. Yes. Now it's official.
well, yeah. When I've been watching it, and it's very impressive, and it really brings out the personality that you have that you might not sometimes see because you're hidden behind a drum kit. So we actually get to see it, in 10, 15 minutes skits. So actually, I'm going to start about that. Actually, how did you get
Sure.
into doing the YouTube thing?
Uh, Probably the pandemic. We were all just looking for things to do, and I'd always kind of been nerdy about fragrances, and I think it probably started from the early years of touring when you don't know when you're gonna see a shower, and and you're doing meet and greets and stuff, and you don't want to smell bad. So I used to always kind of travel with 2 or 3 different scents with me. And that always kind of was like when they ask you like, what's an essential item that you bring with you on tour? Like I always bring a fragrance, and a lot of times I'll bring like a big bag of little travel atomizers. But then over the pandemic, I kind of just like started really enjoying watching other YouTubers, other content creators, and thinking like, man, I'd love to do that, but I don't know what I would do it about. I got hired to write and and produce and star in this topical pop culture podcast during the pandemic. But like it just was as soon as life started picking up, it was kind of hard to get everyone's schedules together. So that's kind of been on hold for a while. But then I was thinking like, what could I do by myself? And I, was kind of really interested in fragrance and also just loved the idea of creating content and being inspired by other creators and thinking like I wonder if I could make and I started following other fragrance YouTubers, and I was thinking like I wonder if I could do something like this but kind of inject my own personality into it. And I've always loved comedy, and it's always been a love of mine as well, so I get to kind of combine my passions for perfumery and silliness. So that's kind of how that started, and it just kind of snowballed. It's become kind of a big thing, and a lot of fans are coming up to me just saying like, hey, what are you wearing today as a scent? Like, what do you recommend for me? And I've done a lot of like just personal consultant type things with fans and telling them like, oh, check out, do you like this? Let me kind of, calculate that with your personality, and like, oh, you should check out like some of these, and what's your price range? Okay, try these out, And a lot of them reach out to me in the comments. They're like, hey, you recommended this, and this. I really love this one. I got this one. This is my scent now. So it's just been a fun, and it's also a fun way for me to kind of, distract myself from the grind of touring. I can just put my headphones in and edit fragrance content, and it's just fun for me. So that's really cool that you know what it is. It's kind of an underground thing right now, but it's growing. So
Yeah, the first one I watched was the leather tobacco one because
yeah,
my first reaction was, does that just smell like a old Hell's Angel who's past his time? Like that was my first reaction. But then
it
like
kind of does.
yeah, well, watching your video, I mean, it was so impressive, like how you're able to also, like you went through the notes, and you're able to bring in what the different elements are that they use and in the fragrance. So it's not just leather and tobacco; it's obviously other stuff, which is actually really in depth. And it was before I started watching it, no idea that was the sort of things that were involved in there. So it was a real eye opener for me.
Yeah, the
Thank you.
whole frag tube, frag cob, whatever you want to call it on YouTube is kind of a culture. And I've made friends with a lot of other fragrance YouTubers just from doing it who are also Hailstorm fans, and like, oh, like hey man, like it's such an honor to meet you. And I'm like, no, it's an honor to meet you because I've been watching your videos for like years, and like I'm a fan of you. So it's a pretty cool thing. And it's also kind of helpful for because you can't uh you can't like smell anything through a video screen yet.
Yeah.
We haven't invented smell-o-vision yet, so it's a good way to kind of like guide people towards, okay, like using descriptors and analyzing notes and also describing how it performs. But, you know, in the end of the day, you have to test it on your skin, because that's really going to be the deciding factor, because it could smell great on me and it could smell terrible on you and vice versa, depending on your skin chemistry.
Yeah,
But I've got a few that I'm going to be taking with me. I could show you real quick, actually.
yeah, go for
This
it.
one right here, this is a Yves Saint Laurent's Tuxedo, is a really great
Yeah,
patchouli scent and really perfect for fall, really sexy, really classy. I'm going to be bringing this one, Tabacaleur by Dior, is a tobacco scent, and fall time is great for tobacco. Although I've heard it's still kind of hot out there. So I'm also going
yeah,
to be bringing this one. It's called Le Mâle et Parfum, which is an iris scent. So it's really powdery, a little bit floral. It also has like some deeper spices and stuff like that, but it does have some freshness to it. So this is a good, like, well-rounded scent that I'm going to be bringing with me. So I'm excited
good.
to get to Australia and get to nerd out with some fans about fragrance and maybe help turn them on to some really cool ones that they may not have heard of.
Well, awesome. And that's a good point, because we've been talking for 6 minutes and we haven't actually spoken about that you're coming to Australia. So
Oh, that,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, that whole thing, yeah.
I should probably
So
talk about my day job too. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. But I mean, you guys were here only last year, and now you're back again doing Knotfest. How did that come about that you're coming around again so quickly?
Well, yeah, we've done them before, and we've been coming down there a lot, and yeah, we're just so glad that the reception has been so positive, pretty much since day one. You know, the rock and roll fans down there are feral, and they love the heavy music, and also I get this sense of gratitude that a lot of them are just so thankful that we traveled 22 hours in an airplane just to be there. But it's really like kind of a vacation for us, just because it's so beautiful and so nice down there. So that's like, Australia is one of those places where I'm like, yeah, I could live here. This is pretty awesome. Yeah. So you guys are you're very blessed to live in such a incredible place.
It's very remote though, so unless you guys do
That's
turn up,
true.
we've got to go and see you guys, which is
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
again
So we're
22
happy to
hours.
we're happy to go there. We're always like, if y'all want us there, like we're stoked to come down there. So
Excellent, excellent. I mean, this you're on the same touring cycle then from the last album, which is now 2 years old or close to 2 years old. The one thing I have picked up from you guys is that you either tour all the time and you record all the time. So that must mean, by my calculations, there's an album in the works.
yeah, yeah, yeah. We started getting in the studio and just kind of hashing out ideas around last fall, I think, like end of summer, early fall last year. And yeah, we're doing this little 2 week run, New Zealand and Australia, and then when we get back, we're pretty much going to go straight in the studio and start working up some more stuff. So yeah, we're kind of doing it simultaneously. We're not doing a lot of touring this year, so we just have this tour and then a big summer tour, and then I think the rest of the year is going to be pretty much focused on recording.
When you play the Knotfest, because obviously it's not a headline set on the Knotfest, you'll be like trimmed down. What can we expect from there? Because I know yourself from seeing other stuff you've done, there are deep cuts you like to play, but you have to play the hits. So is it going to be the hits or some special stuff?
You know, a lot of the fans that we know down there, they love to travel from show to show. In fact, we see them a lot at the airport or on the same airplane, and we're like, hey, you know. So I think as in true Hailstorm fashion, we're probably gonna switch it up every day and throw in some new stuff that you know, that you might not have seen at the last show. But the difference between a headline show and a shorter festival set, which I think we're playing like an hour, so it's not super short,
Okay.
but it's basically the same level of energy. It's just much more condensed. So when we're playing a shorter set, we have much shorter breaks in between songs, and we just try to get as much in as possible. So you'll still be getting a lot, even if we're playing a shorter set.
You've also been doing stuff with Chemical Fire. So that
Oh
started,
yes,
yeah, that
you've done your
started this
research.
year. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That was and that's with Taylor from Lit, so another drummer. So how
Yeah.
did you guys then, like? Did you guys have a punch on to decide who was behind the kit and who was up front? And
Well, he's an incredibly much better guitar player than I am, so I think that was kind of the deciding factor. I'm not a great guitar player. I can play guitar for writing, but I'm no shredder. He's a total shredder. So that was definitely a deciding factor of who would play guitar, who would play drums. But we both wanted to sing, so we're like, okay, well, let's do like one guitar, one person on guitar, one person on drums, and we'll just both sing. So that's a really fun project because it gets to expand uh, my challenges from what I'm used to with Hailstorm. I'm doing a lot more. A lot more. The drumming is a lot more crazy, and the singing is a lot more prominent. So it's a workout doing that, but it's really fun. It's a really fun challenge, and yeah, that started during the pandemic. We were just hitting up everybody we knew because we were just sitting at home and all we could do was just this basically just hang out on Zoom. And we were just trying to find anybody and everybody that just wanted to keep that creative muscle flexed. So yeah, Taylor and I just got together. We just started like, let's just write some songs. Maybe there'll be Hailstorm songs, maybe there'll be lit songs. But as what happens a lot in the songwriting world, you write something that's like right from here and you're like, oh man, this is really good. I don't think I want to give this up. I think I want to keep this for me. And that was kind of how Chemical Fire started. We're like, we should just start a band together and just do it for real. Like, okay, so that was basically it. Yeah.
Talking of going back to your day job,
Yeah.
because I don't think we've got long left. I do know that obviously you're with your sister in there, and a lot of bands, or a lot of well, actually all bands really that have siblings in there over the years, longevity is always a big key, but there's often sometimes conflict. Now she's your big sister, so how do you handle when she's going off being a big sister thing? Like, how does that work?
I think we've just been doing this so long and now we're a bit older that we just don't have the energy to argue about anything. Or the good thing is that we've always been on the same page, as well as Joe and Josh, the four of us. I mean, I'm at the point where I can't even tell who my real sibling is at this point. We're all practically a family. So just like any family, you got ups and downs, but you work through it. And and yeah, I don't think that I don't know how other bands with siblings have the mental energy to hold grudges and to have full blown arguments all the time. Like that's just hasn't been our vibe. And it might have also been the fact that me and her were kind of all we had growing up because we don't have any other siblings, and we moved around a lot, so it was hard to make friends. And we were just so hell bent on music from a young age that we just we had this really good supportive partnerships from the beginning. So yeah, I know it's hard to believe, but like we really just don't there's really just nothing worth fighting about because we both have the same goal, and that's just to do this as long as we can and take it as far as we can.
25 years, you've done well, and counting.
Yeah.
So you've done well.
But who's
And
counting? Yeah.
and obviously talking of family as well. If I'm correct, congratulations on, was it an engagement back in October?
Yes. Yes, I'm
Yeah.
engaged. Yeah.
As getting engaged, I already know the answer, but I'm going to ask, has that settled you down?
Well, I mean, as far as like, being a single young buck, yeah, that's, I mean, I found someone that is so good at handling what I do. That's always been like the toughest thing for me is finding a partner that can, um, that is truly independent, that can, withstand the difficulties of being with a touring musician and the fact that I'm going to be gone a lot. And she is as independent as they come. I even ask her like, "Are you going to miss me when I'm gone?" And she's like, "Yeah, not really." I was like, "Yes, that's what I need to hear. I need someone that wants to be with me, not someone that's dependent on being with me." So that's why we're such a great fit. And she's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life. So like I'm good. I'm like, I'm engaged to I wouldn't even say a 10. I'm engaged to 100. So so she's
So
everything I
sweet.
could have ever asked for. I'm serious. Everything I could have ever asked for in a partner. And like I'd be completely, absolutely nuts to give that up. So I'm hanging on to that one.
Yeah.
She's
Well,
a good.
congratulations once again.
Thanks.